Hey, my friends, it's Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California on a Monday evening, March 22nd. And, I first thought about doing this show a couple hours ago. I was trying to catch up with some of the news. There's so much that was happening over the weekend. Hetty and I are busy going to restaurants. We don't have time for the news, apparently, because I've heard of after Biden, fell up the stairs 3 times in one climb, and all the stuff that's happening at the border and the interviews that were happening with the director of the DHS, I guess he is. I'm not even keeping track of who all the people are and their names, that kind of stuff. So I apologize for all that. They're just dimwits and just morons, and so it's like they're all running together, and I can't keep up with who's who. But I realized that there's no way. As I was preparing for the show, and oh my gosh, I left my notes. I'm gonna have to leave the camera for 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Oh my gosh, I was taking notes and I left my journal on the couch. It's a good thing only one person's watching. All right, and so as I was going through all the notes and watching, some of the clips of things that were going on. Hey, Bev, nice to see you. I just realized there's no way. There's no way I'm going to keep up with all the horrible consequences to the policies of this administration that's currently in power. I don't even know what to call it. You can't call it the Biden administration. You can't even call it the Harris administration because she's too stupid to begin with. He has dementia. So who's running the country? God only knows. We have no idea who's running this country, but whoever's running it, their policies and the consequences of their policies are just a disaster for the United States of America. It's a disaster for the Democratic Party. Unfortunately, they are in power, and so this is why they're quickly trying to jam so many of these bills and what are they called? HRs such and such and HRs such and such through, because while they have power, they're voting for these things that are just detrimental to America and our Constitution. And so what I simply wanted to say, and this may be a short show. I know I always say that, and it ends up not being a short show. Short show. Wow, that's hard to say. And that is that our tendency as conservatives, especially as conservative Christians, Republicans, is that we don't have that killer instinct that Democrats do. It's seemingly, as far as I can remember, I don't think we ever have. Now, when we go to war, it's best to have some strong Americans. Democrats aren't American, but in battle, you need Americans. We don't need Democrats. They can stay at home as far as I'm concerned. But Americans go to war. Americans in law enforcement that are true Americans. Now, we have some Democrats in law enforcement. I've dealt with them. They're just as horrible as anybody else that's a Democrat. But when I go select a search team or a team that I need to go in, back when SWAT team didn't always respond to active shooters. Sometimes us on patrol, before I was even on SWAT, would have to go in on an active shooter back in the day. And so you would want to make sure and pick the right people to go along with you, go to battle with you, people that would have your back, people that would do anything to safeguard both of your safety so that we could go home at the end of the shift. And again, you wouldn't want somebody, a liberal personality, that would be a Democrat, that kind. You want to take somebody that's a conservative, hopefully somebody that believes in God, and you want to go in there and take care of business, because we tend to not be filled with fear, and we have a sense of duty when it comes to preserving life. Now, Democrats don't, apparently, because of some of the policies. And so I'm telling you all that because what we don't have now, we could do that, but somehow we can't, we can't vanquish the enemy. We tend to let up sometimes, and we have this tendency in politics to not like, well, you know what? It'll just smooth over with time. We don't need to laugh at them when they're stupid. We don't need to take advantage of them when they are ridiculous. We don't need to kick sand in their face when they're down. And that is usually the right way to go. As a Christian, as a conservative Christian, I do a devotional during the day with my with Hedia, and there could be a conflict with that. If you watch my devotional, if you watch what it is we talk about, you're going to say, well, you do this devotional, then at night you talk about how people are stupid and dumb and dimwits and that kind of stuff. Well, that's because these same people that I'm talking about believe in late-term abortion. The Democratic Party has cheered, has turned on lights, has celebrated with opening of champagne with the passing in New York of late-term abortion. Now, when you think of somebody who thinks it's okay to kill a child, a full-grown child that's coming out of the womb, and it's okay to kill that child, when you think of that person, do you not think of anything but a moron or an evil demonic person? What's worse, at calling somebody the devil or a demonic human being, or calling them stupid? I think I'm being nice by calling them stupid. I think I'm being nice by calling them an idiot, because you cannot be for a Democratic Party that believes that late-term abortion is okay and not call them stupid. The thing is, what we tend to do is sometimes we'll see somebody like Joe Biden, trying to, show that he's young by jogging up these stairs and fall 3 times. And I get somebody go, you're being mean because he's old. No, and double no. Joe Biden has been an evil, demonic person his entire career because he's a plagiarist. He's never voted for something for America. It's never been a good policy that he's ever voted for. He has always voted against America. He's employed his family to take advantage of his position as a senator and then as vice president of the United States to gain wealth by millions and millions of dollars from China and from South American countries, from Russia. And this has been forever as Biden. So he's not a good guy. He never has been a good guy. He can say he's a Catholic all he wants, but he's never been a good guy. And that is when he didn't have dementia. Now with dementia, what I tend to be more laughing at is the idiots who voted for the moron. That's what I'm laughing at. Whether he falls, I could care less. At this point, I feel sad. In some cases that you have he's married to a woman who should have stopped him and said, hey, you're too old to do this, and I don't want people to see you as a ridiculous puppet being used by the Democratic Party. And she knows it. There's no way that Jill, his wife, doesn't know that he's cognitively declined, that he has dementia, that he has trouble speaking, there's no way. It is impossible. I here in Orange County can see that he is mentally declined, that he has dementia, that he cannot finish a sentence, that he's made hundreds of mistakes, that he can't walk up the stairs without falling down, that he calls Kamala Harris the president of the United States, that it says 300 billion doses of the vaccine has been ordered to vaccinate 300 people in America. None of that makes any sense. At what point do you say that and go, oh, shoot, I didn't mean that. That was an accident. Like when I say stuff, sometimes I'll mention I made a mistake, or I'll just keep talking through it, or I'll laugh at myself. But because I understand, I hear myself and I understand. He doesn't even hear himself saying 300 billion doses to vaccinate 300 people. He doesn't hear. He just said that yesterday, right? And so you cannot allow yourself to be affected by the Republican, conservative, Christian party of old, where we let off the pressure, that we lift our foot off the accelerator, and that we begin to show mercy. We cannot show mercy. We cannot show mercy. I know. Andy, you do a Christian devotional. You have to show mercy and grace. No, I am not. I am not. You have these border issues that are occurring. That are occurring on the border. And I have so many people that called me a Nazi as a police officer. I'm an expert witness in border cases, criminal cases. I often look at it from the criminal side of things. I often am hired by the criminals at the border. I know what's happening at the border. What was happening the previous administration was not what they were saying. It was not what they were accusing President Trump of. None of that. The closing of the holes in the border and creating a process of coming across the border is humane. It is the right thing to do, because he wasn't saying no immigrants would come to the United States. He said only we want legal immigration, not illegal immigration. We don't want criminals across the border. We want people that are going to be a benefit to the United States of America to come over. That is not what was happening. That's what was happening at the border, but that's not what's happening now. The Biden administration has opened the border. Now you have this guy. I think he's the secretary of the DHS. That I just saw an interview with him saying that no, the border's not open. It's completely closed. No, it's not. It is completely open. I know. We've all seen it on the news. I have friends that work on the border, and they say no. We cannot stop people from coming over. If that's not an open border, I don't know what is. And he dodges all kinds of questions. I've heard people say, well, they have a constitutional right to come across our border. No, they don't have a constitutional right. You're an idiot. Your Democrats are saying they're proving their stupidity. They don't care about our Constitution. They don't know the Constitution. And I hear Democrats saying they have a constitutional right to come. No, they are not American citizens. They do not have a constitutional right to come across the United States. They do not have a constitutional right to come across the United States illegally. And it's completely wrong. Let's look at a couple things here. I'm going to share my screen for 1 second here. And this is I'm going to get rid of this banner. And that is, you have Charlie Kirk here. This is a post from him. And I'm not saying he's the all-knowing, but he has a point. And this is true. The Biden administration is planning to spend $86 million on a 6-month contract to provide hotel rooms for 1,200 illegal border crossers. $86 million for 1,200 illegal border crossers? What? This is where your tax dollars are going. How much money has Biden allotted for direct action like this to house homeless American veterans? Not $86 million. What kind of place are they? Are they staying at the Ritz-Carlton? What's happening with $86 million? What kind of hotel are they putting these people in? They're giving them money. They come across the border. They're illegal. They're criminals entering our country, and they're giving them money. They're promising them medical care. They're promising them free education. They are criminals. This is why you cannot care for their feelings. I don't care for their feelings. I have family members that are Democrats. I have friends that are Democrats. I don't care for their feelings because they are destroying the United States of America. They have voted in an administration that is destroying our country. When it comes to things like that, we are simply living currently in a civil war. I believe it is not being fought with bullets. It is not being fought with rockets and any type of arsenal like that. But it's being fought in sometimes social media. It was being fought at school board meetings. It is being fought in many different ways. This is a fight. We are in a fight for our country. And if you don't think so, then you haven't been paying attention. And I'm not sure if anybody's put it this way, but we are currently in a civil war. And fortunately, right now, we are not using guns to fight the civil war. We are using our way of communicating. I'm using this broadcast and my podcast to tell everybody, to alert everybody, we are currently in a civil war. If you don't think so, then you may be a Democrat, and you cannot let up. You would not tell a bullet to go slower because you're a Republican at this point. When you're in a civil war, you are shooting for center mass, and center mass sometimes doesn't feel comfortable as a Republican. We don't feel comfortable, kicking people when they're down, kicking sand in their eyes. But currently, we have to do that. We cannot let up. You got a dimwit, the press secretary, Psaki or whatever her name is. I don't even know her name. Raggedy Ann. Is simply lying through her teeth. I know they talked about Kayleigh lying. Listen. The more she says and Psaki says a lot, when she says a lot, she's lying, right? That's how you know she's lying. Well, number one, you know she's lying when her mouth is moving. That's number one. Number two, you know she's really lying when she's saying because she's trying to come up with something to lie about so she can cover the Biden administration. You got AOC. Nothing more needs to be said, right? You got AOC. She's an idiot. Mask wearers. You got people driving around in masks. You got people walking around and jogging in masks. I just put up a picture of somebody swimming with a mask on. Let me see if I can bring that up. It's here somewhere. You guys, what idiots, right? They want us to believe. Oh man. Oh, there it is. So I got this person who's swimming in a mask. I guarantee that this is a Democrat, right? That's got to be a Democrat. It can't be anybody else. No Republican would, clearly a Christian would not be swimming around with a mask on. How stupid are you to be swimming with a mask? Oh my God. I thought being stupid was driving around in a mask, but swimming in a mask is just ridiculous. You got things happening in Portland. They're not even reporting on whether they're rioting in Portland still rioting in Portland. In Seattle, they're still rioting in Seattle. You still have people that are have a what's it called? Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the town that they created. They've done the same thing in Minneapolis around the George Floyd area where he was where he died. Oh my gosh, what's it called? It's Chaz, right? They have somewhat like a Chaz in Minneapolis, and you're not allowed to take video, right? Who are these people? They're not the police. They're not part of the government. But somebody was taking video. These people that are, I guess, responsible for this land that they took over in Minneapolis are telling people you can't take video, and you need to turn off right now. And they walk up all like they're going to do something. Really? I wish I lived in Minneapolis. I'd be over there taking video every day. And you would be seeing it. It's just ridiculous. You got Governor Cuomo. Another idiot, another guy that, months and months ago, I was telling you this guy was a murderer. He's murdering people. I was telling you that there's something wrong with this guy. Here they are. He wrote a book. It became a #1 bestseller. You got Biden, who said he is the golden example of what a governor should look like, right? He thinks he's a golden example. He thinks Cuomo is the gold standard of governors. What? He also thinks his son, Hunter Biden, is the smartest guy he knows. You cannot allow this to just sleep and go away and go, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. He's got dementia. So I know that he thinks that Cuomo is the gold standard, but, he's old. No, they put him in that position. Do not do that. Put it out there. Show people what they voted for. Make them aware of what they voted for. Rub it in their face. And do whatever it is you need to do to show them what they've done. Now, I'm not telling you like a Democrat to go out there and harass them at a restaurant. I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you to scream in their face. I'm not telling you to go to their house and have bullhorns. Use the forms of media that we have available to put in their face and to show them what it is they voted for. I ask them all the time, hey, you got these children that are sleeping. Let's see if I can bring it up here. I'm going to search for it first. You got these children. Oh my gosh, I got things popping up everywhere here. You got people and children sleeping in these silver sleeping bags. We had them in the back of our patrol car, and so I know exactly what they are. But they look like
50 of the individuals inside this facility were COVID positive. There have been multiple sexual assaults, normal assaults, and daily medical emergencies.
Right, so you have all this happening there at the border. You have these children and adults being housed in these areas. Hold on, I got to bring. There you go. You have them being wrapped up like to-go tacos or to-go burritos in these silver things, and they were screaming and yelling. Uh-oh, hold on 1 second. I know you're probably hearing something else. Hold on. There we go. Over the 4 years of the Trump administration, I had so many people call me a Nazi. So many people call me, a baby killer, a pig, an MFer, an a-hole, all these things because of my supporting of President Trump and his policies at the border. And here you have 10 times what was happening at the border. He was busy trying to fix it and keep it from happening. You have an administration who's making it worse on a daily basis. The other day, I think I posted a number. It was like 300 children are being used unaccompanied across the border every day, and then it went to 400. And today, I think I heard it's 600 unaccompanied children are coming across the border every day or coming to the border every day, and it is becoming worse. And they are silent. Not one person that was calling me a Nazi, not one person who was saying that Trump was a baby killer and that I was a baby killer for supporting him. Not one of those people are saying anything right now. None of them. They're staying silent. Wait a minute. I thought you were for the children. I thought this was about the children. But now I see that it's not about the children. It's just about this person that somehow you hated because what CNN told you to hate, how to hate him and how much to hate him. That MSNBC was telling you to hate this guy. None of that was based on truth. None of that was based on your true feelings, because right now, more children by the tens of thousands are making their way to the border, and they're going to be put in these holding facilities. They have COVID. They're being housed together. As you heard in that report from Veritas, is that there's rapes occurring, sexual assaults occurring, physical assaults are occurring, and you don't care now. You care nothing because you voted for the idiot who's caused it. Now you're not going to say anything. CNN's not going to say anything. MSDNC is not going to say anything. The New York Times is not going to say anything. They're not going to show you any of this is happening. They're not going to show you. But what they will show you is the rioting in Miami. Why? Because it's in a Republican state. They'll show you that. They'll say, oh my gosh, look at these people rioting in Miami. Look at, they don't have masks on. Look at their partying. That's what you care about. Really? That's the big news? But they're not showing you anything at the border, Seattle, Portland, none of that. Nobody cares about that. They're not talking about Cuomo killing hundreds of thousands of elderly people, something where in tens of thousands of elderly people. That you don't care about? That's not a big deal to you? You got de Blasio, who suddenly now he's all looking all bad because look at Cuomo. Cuomo's an idiot. De Blasio completely destroyed the city of New York all by himself, destroyed the city. You got Gavin Newsom being voted out, right? You got it being, not impeached. What's the word I'm looking for? Somebody help me. I'm on a roll here and I can't stop. You got, everything's happening. You have 14,000 businesses being closed in California with his tyrannical decisions to shut down the state. It didn't fare any worse or any better than any state that didn't shut down. And he's still continuing it. And so we cannot let up. We must continue to push. Do not let up because you think that their feelings are being hurt or because you're going too far. Do not let them forget that they voted for Biden. Do not let them forget that they voted for Kamala Harris. Don't let them forget that they support all these policies. Don't let them forget that they're staying silent when all this is happening. You cannot let up. These people need to understand what they have done to this country and what that's going to continue to be done to this country as long as the Biden administration is in power, as long as they control the Congress, as long as they control Senate. They are going to continue and try to push these things through, having men compete with girls in girls' sports. Ridiculous, ridiculous policy. Shutting down the pipeline, the oil pipeline, causing tens of thousands of jobs. Having policies that send companies to Mexico, to China, instead of the United States. You cannot let up. I know our tendency is to let up because we don't like to kick people when they are down. I don't care. I don't care. I told you long ago, I've had family members, and I know I said this earlier today, I'm going to say it again. I have family members and friends that I know that I've traveled with and done things with. I don't care. They voted for this guy. They voted for this administration. They voted for these policies occurring. They voted for late-term abortion. They voted for the shutdown of the oil jobs that were created through the pipeline. They voted for our borders being open. They voted for all of the things, our country being destroyed by the Democratic policies in regard to the COVID restrictions. They voted for our children being destroyed emotionally from continuing to have our schools closed. They voted for these things. I am not going to let up. I will not let up. I will not let them forget what they did to this country. Just like I will not forget 9/11. I will not forget what the Democrats have done to this country. The Democrats are the enemy. We are in a civil war, and you cannot let up on these people. They have done us wrong. And they still are doing us wrong. The press is still not showing what it is that needs to be shown to their Democratic voters. CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, Eric Swalwell sleeping with a Chinese spy, and he's still part of the counterterrorism or anti-terrorism organization or the group within the Congress. Then they still allow him to head it up and be part of it. How do you let a guy who's sleeping with a Chinese spy, knows that he's sleeping with a Chinese spy, be part of somebody that has access to some of our biggest secrets? How do you do that? Why is that okay? It's not okay. Again, I could go on. This list goes on forever. And you cannot let up. You cannot let up on making it clear as to what it is they've done to this country. $350 each day. A day. What? Where are they staying? Where are they staying? On the border of Texas and Mexico. What the hell? I've been there. I've been in that area. What hotels are $350? Oh, come on, man. Just a couple oops a day. A couple of those. Yes, so true. I can't even wrap my head around how people voted for him. I don't understand. We told them. I had people literally tell me, I'm an intelligent person and I voted for Biden. You're going to call me stupid? Yes, you are stupid. You are a moron. You are more than stupid. How could you not see him in the debates? How can you not watch the debates and watch those things and go, you know what? I would hire that guy to run my business. Would you? That was one of the questions I would ask people when they said, I'm going to vote for Biden. Okay, let's say that you would do that. But let's say you ran a corporation of some sort, where you had somebody who's responsible for all the employees, the business actually growing, earning an income. The bottom line, is important to make sure that you're running the business in a way that makes money, that allows you to pay everybody's salary, including his and everybody else's. Would you hire Biden to run a corporation? And they go, well, and they hesitate, and they go, he's clearly got cognitive issues that are going on. He's never been right in any of his policies he's voted for. He's plagiarized over the years. He's a known plagiarist. We know this. There's proof of his plagiarism, and he's been accused of being a sexual predator. These are things that we know. These are things we know. We have video of him sniffing children's hair inappropriately, grabbing children and rubbing children on the chest, girls on the chest. We have videos of that. With all that, are you going to hire him to run your corporation? Well, no. Well, then why would you vote for him for president, you idiots? That's why you're a moron. Sorry, I'm yelling. I'm so sorry. I got to make sure. My mic sounded funny on another thing. Let me make sure the mic. Oh, I do. Oh, gosh darn, here. It's going to get louder. I'm so sorry. I'm changing. Sorry about that. Now I'm on my mic. Sorry about that. I've been on the mic of the computer, so my sound probably is different. You could probably turn down your volume because it's probably a little bit louder. I have list dinner parties now. Friends circle is much smaller now. Well, that's good. Cam Harris only got 1% approval, so there you go. Yeah, you got a person who couldn't even get through the nomination process, and you make her vice president. They're just some of the stupidest people I've ever seen on my planet. On my planet. This is my planet, by the way. Let me go ahead and bring this back. What else do we have here? Let me get rid of that. So these are the photos. Candace Owens has been on fire, and here's one of her posts on Twitter. It says, the crisis at the border is so bad that Biden is denying the press access. Why is AOC, who once staged a photo shoot to draw attention to the concentration camps under Trump, completely silent? It's almost as if she's a political hack who used immigrant children as props. Really? Yes, Candace, she's been on fire. I got another post from Candace. Let me go ahead and scroll up here to find it. Here it is. The number one violent offenders against black people are other black people. The number one violent offenders against Asian Americans are also black. But both Black Lives Matter and Asian Lives Matter are campaigns dedicated to stomping out white supremacy because clown world. And again, that is such an important tweet by Candace, because I have been talking about that since the George Floyd incident, is that because that's when the systemic racism argument against police came up, and every study, everything that I was able to show you for years, it is a false story. It is a myth. It is not true. And we've been able to show you statistics. In Chicago, the biggest the biggest enemy of blacks in regard to homicides and aggravated assaults are other blacks, not white cops. Not in San Francisco in 2008, not while Donald Trump was president. In 2008, they had 85% of the aggravated assaults against Asians was black assailants. You had a DA who is now the DA in Los Angeles who wasn't prosecuting the blacks because they were black. They were saying, well, they're a product of their community and their society, so I'm not going to prosecute blacks when they commit crimes against Asians. What is that not racist? Is that not racist? Is it not racist to lower the standards, the math standards, and say, you know what, there could be 2 or 3 answers to a math equation. It's no longer 2 + 2 = 4. Requiring it to be 2 + 2 = 4. That's racist against blacks because they're too stupid to do math. That is what they're putting through in California right now, by the way, is that they're too dumb. Is that not racist? Why isn't the black community saying, okay, Democrats, I'm tired of you calling us stupid, that we can do math and we can take tests and score as high as anybody else on the planet. We don't need you Democrats to be trying to be pushing through these policies and using us to try to get through these stupid policies so that you simply can have more power, that you can create a welfare state out of each one of these states in the United States. You are creating poverty. You are creating welfare with your Democratic policies. We no longer, when are the blacks going to stand up and say, you no longer, Democrats, are going to use us in your argument
to say that we're too stupid, to know where to get IDs so that we can vote. Do you realize that they're saying that when they say that you cannot have a voter ID, a requirement, because blacks are too stupid to get ID? They don't know that they're being racist, apparently. They do, by the way, but there's claim, oh no, we can't have IDs because black people can't get IDs. They're too stupid. That's what we're trying to. At what point, black people, are you going to say, hey, I'm going to go to the Republican Party, because they don't look at us as black people. They look at us as Americans. Asian people want to join the Republican Party because we look at you as Americans. We look at everybody as Americans, LGBTQ people. You come to the Republican Party, you are an American. You're not an LGBTQ person. Gay people come to the Republican Party and you can be an American. You don't have to be gay all the time. Well, you can be gay, but you don't have to be gay, right? You don't need people fighting for you because they think you have the inability to do it yourself. You have the inability to do math. You have the inability to find an ID. That's what Democrats think about you. They think that you're too stupid. So join the Republican Party because you want to be an American. Not black, not Asian, not LGBTQ elemental P, not gay, not whatever, transgender. I know some of those things are similar, but who cares? I don't care. I just want Americans in the party. I want Americans to have a border because we're a country. We are a country. We're not the world shithole where you send all of your, the worst of your worst. No, we're not to be a shithole. Right? You're saying that America is so racist and it's so evil, yet tens of thousands of people are breaking into our country every day. And you're saying, no, we can't make them. We can't make the Central American immigrants stay in Mexico because Mexico is too dangerous. So you're calling Mexico a dangerous shithole, and you're calling America a racist shithole. What is true? If we are so racist and so horrible, have them stay in Mexico. But now they got to say, oh, Mexico's not good either. We can't make Central Americans stay in Mexico because Mexico is not good. It's not safe. So let's put them in a $350 a day hotel and let Americans who are working our asses off, some of us who can work, some of us can't, let's make them pay for it and not help them. Let's not help the military, the veterans that have come over with injuries. Let's not build a house for them. Let's not let them stay in a $350 a night hotel. No, we'll make them sit on the street in Los Angeles, sleep on the streets in Los Angeles. We'll make them sleep on the streets in San Francisco. 30,000 homeless people. We'll have them sleep in feces and piss in San Francisco and Los Angeles. But we're going to give illegal aliens $350 a night hotels and give them thousands of dollars to come across. We're going to give them free education. We're going to give them free medical. But we're going to make the military guys and the homeless people sleep in shit in Los Angeles, San Francisco. How much sense does that make? Do not let up. I will not let up. I know that Hedia, my love, my sweet love, my life, tells me, Andy, you probably shouldn't call Democrats stupid, moron, idiotic a-holes on a nightly basis. I know. I love you, Hedia, but I try. But if you listen to everything, you cannot. They need to know how stupid they are. They need to know how evil they are. They need to know how demonic they are. They don't care about babies and children, right? We know that. They only cared about them when Donald Trump was in the administration, and they used them, and it was a lie, by the way, and said they cared about the babies at the border, but yet they voted for late-term abortion. You care about children that aren't being held in cages on the border during the president's administration, but you kill children across the United States, 300 or more a day in California. You kill our babies, our American babies, mostly black babies, by the way, and you kill them even up to birth. That you vote for, you cheer for, you pop champagne bottles, you light up New York when you vote for late-term abortion and pass it. That is fantastic. But you care during the Trump administration about children, and then when Biden comes in, now you don't care about children at the border. That's why they are stupid. That's why they are moronic. That's why they are the enemy, and we are in a civil war, and you need to look at them, whether you're friends, family, it doesn't matter. You look at them as the enemy. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm telling you that we need to look at this as a civil war. Again, I'm not telling you, again, I want to make sure, because I know this is going to get pulled off. I know I'm going to get suspended again. But I'm telling you, I'm not telling you to do it with guns. I'm not telling you to with hand grenades, explode, none of that. I'm telling you, you fight them with words. You go to the school board meeting. You know what positive things have happened? Let me tell you some positive things that happened. And I'm not sure, I cannot claim that it's because we necessarily went to the last school board meeting and we overwhelmed them with parents who said, open our damn schools, school board, school district, teachers union, open our damn schools. What's happening on the 19th, I think it is, in April, and the next quarter is our schools are opening up here at the Placentia Yorba Linda School District. They're opening up. Why? Because we went there and overwhelmed, I believe. We told them what we felt. We told them how we felt. Now, again, they're going to say, no, we were going to do it anyway. Whatever. I don't care. All I know is that the involvement, the speaking out, the filling out the forms, the phone calls, the emails to the school district and to the school board and to the teachers union, all of that, I believe, overwhelmingly told them that they needed to open our schools. Our schools are opening up in the next quarter, and full time, full schedule. For our elementary and our junior high and high school are 4 days a week with Wednesdays off. I'm not sure why that Wednesday's off. I haven't gone into it that much, but I know that at least they're going full time, a full day. So 7.5 hours, 6, whatever it is, instead of the 2 hours that they were going, which was totally ridiculous, right? You go drop off the kid, you get back home, you do a couple things around the house. You got to go back and pick up the kids. It was totally ridiculous. But now the kids are going back to school because of our involvement, teachers' involvement, people going there and making a difference. We have 3 basically conservative school board members, I would say. I know one for sure, Leandra Blades, and then Sean Youngblood, and I'm not quite sure about the third one. But anyway, you got 3 conservatives that we voted into the board. We stayed strong. We went there and spoke out. We sent emails. We did all that. I did my shows. I called them out. I know a lot of people were watching. We had several hundred people watching my broadcast about what it is we wanted as parents and what we thought about the teachers that were fighting against it. And our schools are opening up. So I just want to share that with you to say it will work. We just have to make it work, and we can't give up. Sitting back thinking it's going to fix itself is the wrong attitude. That's how we got into this problem. And so I just want to make sure you understand that's one of the things I see happening here in our little community here, Placentia Yorba Linda School District. So stay strong and keep it going. It is so important. Hey, welcome from Brazil. Nice to see you. And Brazil, I know we have some immigrants coming from Brazil, and one was interviewed today, and they asked this Brazilian who was coming to the border, saying, would you have tried to come across into the country illegally when Trump was president? He said, no. And he said, well, why are you here now? Well, because Biden's president. And so you can believe whatever they're telling you. It's not because of Biden. It is because of Biden. They interviewed a number of people that were coming across. The only reason they're here is because Biden's president, and he said to come. He said the flood, his words were to not flood. It was a stronger word that he used during the campaign. Surge. So he told immigrants to, once you became president, that they should surge the border. He said that, and now he's saying, well, I didn't tell them to come over. Yes, you did. You said surge the border. They're surging the border, and you should be happy with yourself. So thank you for watching from Brazil. I know your country has things that you guys are going through, and can be difficult there too. But I understand also. I've never been to Brazil, but I understand it's a beautiful place. Half days. Yeah, these half days are horrific. They're horrible. Judge in San Diego made a decision which affects the whole state. What was that decision? What was the decision? Spill the beans. Democrats need their slaves, modern day slavery, sad plus sex trafficking. Absolutely. You are absolutely right. That's actually on my notes. So thank you for sharing that. I have so much. Again, I could go on and on and on. And oh man, has it been 40 minutes? This was supposed to be short. Hey, Priscilla, glad you're here. I'm going to end on a positive note here in just one second. I'm just looking for a couple of comments that I might have missed. These photos leaked by a Democrat to cover the narrative an hour before a conservative journalist was to release them. Nice. Of course. Cuomo. And my governor is Murphy. Oh, So sorry. So sorry. All right. So many good comments there. Thank you guys. I wish I could put them all up, but you guys are so, late term abortion. It's sick. It's really bizarre. You have this party who's making all these claims about how they feel about kids. Oh, for schools to open, effective in a positive way. So they want schools open, or they are, I'm going to have to look it up. And I'm sorry, Carol, putting you on the spot there. And so let me give you another positive note about staying strong and continuing, regardless of whether you think you're making an impact or not. All right. So I talked about the school board, how I began to broadcast. I met Leandra Blaze during her campaign to become part of the school board, and had interviewed her, I think 3 times now, maybe 4 times. I can't remember. I've lost track. We got on NBC News. We were talked about on a few newspapers locally, and that obviously made an impact, I think, and it was a positive thing for me, and positive thing for, I think, our children. Again, I'm not taking credit. I'm just telling you that it's part of what needs to be done. You got to stay active. You have to be persistent and not give up, even when you don't think anybody's watching. You just keep going. And so, on another note, and not necessarily related to politics, but my wife and I, Hedia, do a devotional. Every morning. We actually now have gone to every morning. We've not missed a day in a fairly long time. It used to be 3 or 4 days a week. I was doing it by myself, and then I met Hedia. We became engaged. We got married, and then she became part of the show, and now we do it together. Thank God, because she's a lot smarter than I am, and so she covers a lot of ground on her former Muslim faith and how she came into Christianity. I talk about being a Catholic and being agnostic and some of the things that I've gone through as far as the early stages of being a Christian, and now my true walk with Jesus Christ. And so we've done this devotional now from days. One day we could have 0 people watching. Another day I've had hundreds of people watch. And then we have a bunch of people watching on the replays and sharing. We get some shares, and sometimes we don't get shares. All right. We broadcast on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, this devotional. And I always said that, most of the reason why I was doing it in the beginning was mostly for myself, by speaking about a devotional and learning and reading books and going to passages and that kind of stuff. It was a way for me to learn. And so it was a little bit of a selfish reason why I was doing the shows, because it was really helping me in my faith and learning more about God and Jesus Christ and the Bible and the Holy Spirit. And it was very much a selfish thing in the beginning. And I was hoping that in that selfishness that other people may come to Christ or learn about one of my churches and go to Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills with Jack Hibbs, or watch online, or even Mark Driscoll over at Trinity Church in Scottsdale, Arizona. And that was always the thing, right? It was always this, I'm doing this for myself, but I hope somebody's going to get a benefit out of it. As Hedia began to join, it became even more so. And she has so much knowledge and has learned so much through transitioning from being a Muslim to becoming a Christian, and immersed herself in learning about the Bible and Jesus Christ and and the disciples and the prophets and prophecy. And so we've stuck with it. All right. I'm laying all that out because I want you to understand that this isn't just it's just something that happened. And then it became kind of a feeling that a calling, that this is something that I think God wants me to do, because it was working. People were watching. People were saying, hey, I started following your pastor, and you know what? I feel that my relationship with God has become better, and I'm closer to God now, mostly because I was watching. You told me about one thing or another, and I began to do some of the things that you were talking about. And again, that's God talking and speaking through me to other people. And it just was continuing. And so we continue that today. And I just want to tell you this is really important for me, is that on our show today, and I'm going to have a snippet that I'm going to put up on my personal page, and you should be able to see it. I'm going to try to share it out as far as I can. But on today's show on YouTube, we had an atheist watching who asked some very important questions. Not an atheist that came on to belittle Christians, but an atheist who came on and add some really good questions. I thought that was fantastic. Gave us an opportunity to speak back and forth in a way that we should be communicating, right? To having a back and forth to discuss the differences that we have in a way that wasn't causing anger or spitefulness. That it was a great conversation. We had somebody else that came on, and I'm not sure what their faith was, but then we had a Muslim come on and talk and ask a couple questions about the difference between the Muslim faith and Christianity. Why, is there what's being born again? What does that mean? Why? I can't remember all the questions. Again, the snippet will be up. But in the end, the Muslim who was on, and after Hedia did a fantastic job of answering his questions or her questions, I'm not sure if it was a male or female, said that he or she wanted to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And that comes from persistence. That never would have happened if I just didn't stay strong in the beginning. And then with Hedia together as a couple, stayed strong together as a couple, staying strong in our faith, staying strong in our, whether we wanted to or not, or whether we felt like or not, doing the devotional each morning, regardless of what was going on in our life. And sometimes it would happen later in the day because things got in the way, but we always tried to make a commitment to do it each day. That commitment and that desire to follow God's plan had a positive benefit for some lives. I'm hoping that it'll have a positive benefit for the atheists also. Maybe I think the other person may have been agnostic and was asking questions. And then we have a Muslim who, comes to a loving God, a loving Jesus Christ, and perhaps being born again. And that only comes from persistence. So I want to tell you that story to tell you that being strong as a conservative in this country currently, as you're being told that you're an a-hole, that you're being told that you're racist, that you're being told you're white supremacist, even though you're black or Mexican or whatever, I know they're calling Hedia a white supremacist and she's Persian, formerly a Muslim, right? No matter what it is, you got to stay strong. Don't let them sway. Hey, you're offending your family. You're offending your coworkers. You're offending what I don't care. All right. Stay strong. Work through it. Understand that we are in a civil war right now. Again, not with guns. I want to be careful because people, he's talking about war. A civil war of words, of content, on social media, staying strong, not backing down, not giving in. If they want to cancel Goya, buy more Goya. If they want to cancel My Pillow, buy My Pillow. Whether you use it or not, give it away to somebody. Whatever that is. If they want to, whatever product they're trying to say is racist, buy that product. All right, my friends, I love you guys so much for watching. Stay strong, conservatives. Stay strong, conservative Christians. We are in a civil war. And we need to stay strong. Do not give up. Do not give in. Stay strong. All right, my friends. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I can't name everybody that was watching because there's so many of you. Thank you. Share this out if you think that it'll be useful for somebody. Subscribe. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and then hit the bell. That way you'll be notified anytime we go live. And just pray every day to God that he saves us from Democrats. All right. Love you guys. God bless. Take care. Bye.